Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. And this watch is a 2022 model year launch from Jaeger-LeCoultre. It is the Polaris Perpetual calendar. And I've longed to feature this watch in steel because it offers a lot of what I love about JLC. So it's 42 millimeters in diameter. The touchstone for the design of this is the 1968 version of the E859 Polaris diving alarm. This, however, is part of the 2018 to present permanent Polaris collection at Jaeger-LeCoultre, and so it takes us to places the original diving alarm couldn't go. A perpetual calendar by IWC with the Kurt Klaus mechanically programmed system and a 70-hour JLC automatic winding base movement. 42 in diameter in steel, it's 13.3 millimeters thick. If we look from lug tip to lug tip, just the case, it's 48.5 millimeters. End link to end link, the total distance across the wrist is 50.5 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. We'll throw this watch on my wrist. Note it's got a double deployant clasp with twin trigger releases, so it is quite secure on the wrist. It's a big watch at 42, but it's not a thick watch, and you can see a lot of that is the plexiglass style boxed and cambered sapphire. Now on the original it would have been plexi, here it's definitely sapphire, but a lot of that height is not case height. As a result, it easily slides under a cuff. If you do have a tight sleeve or a formal cuff of some kind, this should be compatible. Here's your over the top, which does exaggerate the width of the watch. The better angle is always this one. If you look at where the lugs are at the edge of my wrist, you can see why I'd actually recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 15 centimeters. My wrist is 16, and I've got a little bit of clearance to go even smaller. It's a good-looking watch, and it fits well. The bracelet's a handsome piece, and you can see JLC is doing quick release the right way. By integrating the quick release system with two pull tabs into the bracelet, JLC frees up the lugs to be compatible with any standard 21 millimeter spring bar strap. So if you want to go with an OEM or aftermarket 21 millimeter strap, you don't have to worry about some proprietary Cartier Santos-like quick release system. This gives you the flexibility to use any 21 millimeter strap. Now taking a look down here, we have a little bit of a taper down from the end link, which does conform to the case. Polish, satin, a little bit of a variation between the two. We have removable links, which are fixed by pins and sleeves. Some of these JLC bracelets use spring bars. This is quite clearly a friction pin and sleeve setup. So you've got quite a lot of removable links here. You will size it pretty easily with a block and punch. Just keep in mind you'll need a block and a punch, not a screwdriver, to do this at home. Now each side has a roughly 2.5 millimeter snap in, snap out, easy link style micro adjustment. So if you're familiar with Rolex Easy Link, you've got something very similar to that here. You can see the internals of the clasp. It's quite robustly made, and that the bracelet itself is substantial. Taking a look at the underside, you can see there's a little of internal beveling to prevent any kind of pinching of skin or pulling of hair. Then we roll around to the case, which is inspired by the Polaris 68, but not necessarily slavish to it. This is not a tribute to Polaris. The case is more modern, a little bit more robust. The finishing, particularly the lug profiling and the bevels and the step of the lug from the case band, more sophisticated than the 1960s. Then we have two crowns, both push down. One controls the inner rotating bezels. This watch is suitable for kind of light-duty diving, 100 meters with an internal rotating timing reference. And then the crown at the bottom is for winding and setting the watch. Note it does have a stop seconds function, but if you want to set the calendar, you'll do so with this little trigger. JLC and IWC have very different opinions about how the calendar system should be set. IWC feels comfortable with a quick set integrated into the crown. JLC is a little bit concerned that if you make a mistake, you could actually set the calendar ahead by days or even weeks. So in order to prevent that kind of mistake when setting the watch or winding the watch, they've moved the adjuster to a separate pusher. That's just a matter of JLC's priorities. I do agree that the IWC system is geared very quickly and can result in mistakes. On the other hand, if you are buying one of these, you want to make sure that the year is relatively close to whatever year you are in, because if these systems fall behind years or decades, you may be pushing that little trigger quite a few times. Let's do a quick loom shot so we can see the watch in the dark. And you can see, as I promised, that inner rotating bezel, just like the original Polaris, is a useful timing reference. You can line it up with the minute hand, and now you can time your dive if you wish to do so, or anything for that matter. I often find these dive-style bezels are more useful than chronographs. You can also see the seconds hand is luminescent, so if you are going to use this as a diver at night, for example, you'd know that your watch is running. If you take a good look at the dial, you can see one of JLC's best efforts in that regard. It's got a little bit of a convex profile to it, as well as a granular center and a gradient lacquer that fades from bright blue to very dark at the edge, so handsome with orange accents to punctuate it. It also has a pleasing cruciform symmetry, as you can split it top to bottom and side to side, and it remains symmetrical. We have applique high-grade indices, and then the perpetual calendar system probably does require some explanation. This is the system designed by IWC watchmaker Kurt Klaus, which is, after all, a longtime sister company. IWC and JLC sister companies since the 80s. And in 1985, this system debuted on IWC. Shortly thereafter, JLC started using it on its own watches. All you need to do is correctly set the date, assuming everything else is close. As long as you're in the right month for the year you're in, just set the date. Everything else moves in sequence. That includes the day, date, month, year, decade, even the moon phase, so you don't need to look that up. It's very convenient. Through the case back, we can see the movement, and this is actually an 868 AA, unless I'm mistaken. There you go. 868 AA. It's changed a little bit from the original 868. We now have a 70-hour power reserve rather than 40. We still have a 4 Hz beat rate. All this pivots on 54 joules. It's free sprung for durability and precise setting. We've got KIF shock protection, unidirectional winding with ceramic bearings, both those features optimizing efficiency. After all, unidirectional in practice on the wrist is more efficient than bidirectional. We've got blued screws, we've got stripes, we've got engine turning and satination, all of which are mechanically applied. Although the watch is finished to a high degree, it's a good-looking mechanical application of decoration, easily the equal of something like Audemars Piguet or Zenith. Again, 4 Hz beat rate, so no compromises are made to achieve that near 3-day power reserve. It's a good-looking movement, and it goes through the Master 1000 Hours control, which ensures chronometry in 6 positions as a fully cased-up watch, water resistance, winding efficiency, power reserve, and overall durability. It is a 1,000-hour fully assembled watch test, not a 2-week bare movement test like the COSC. So if you like what you see here, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.